one that will substitute for hours of stewing.
还有别的一滴香的吗？
有，还有这个一滴香不错，这个有红血的一滴香。
Then suddenly, he decides to put the shopkeeper on the spot.
里边没有什么配料是吧？这个就食用香料，食用香精辅料。
配料好多厂家都不行。
为什么呀？
它因为它这个是香精已经它提取过了，不像就有些别的东西，它直接食品的东西，它标的比较明确一点，这个什么那个什么，它就一个厂家的可能也就是秘方。
China continues to be the top global source of counterfeit products, but it's far from the only major concern regarding pirated goods, according to the annual Notorious Markets list released Thursday by the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. The coronavirus pandemic, with its resulting restrictions on tourism and movement, has meant some markets are known for openly selling counterfeit goods currently have no or very few problematic stores doing business, according to the report. Such notorious venues include the MBK Shopping Mall, Patpong Street Market, and Soi Nana in Thailand, noted the USTR. Also on the list are other physical markets around the world with long-standing reputations as hubs for fake goods. These include the Central Market in Cambodia's capital, Phnom Penh, Anfu Market in China's Fujian province, which specializes in counterfeit shoes, Beijing Silk Market, Palika Bazaar and Tank Road in New Delhi, India, the 80-square block Tepito in Mexico City, and Moscow's Dubrovka Market with an estimated 700 vendors. The problem is not limited to the developing world. Toronto's Pacific Mall, regarded as the largest indoor Asian shopping mall in North America, is back on the annual list after cleaning up its act several years ago, according to officials. The USTR said the mall's management made efforts, along with law enforcement raids on sellers of alleged counterfeit goods. But since 2018, sales of bogus items have also increased efforts to evade the anti-counterfeiting processes and systems established by governments and e-commerce platforms by, for example, using social media advertisements and influencers, hidden links, and drop shipping schemes. On April 25th, the U.S. Trade Representative's office placed Pinduoduo, China's third-largest e-commerce platform, on its blacklist of notorious marketplaces that fail to curb the sale of counterfeit products. Alibaba Group's Taobao platform, which dominates China's online retail market, has also been on the list for years, having been found to sell counterfeit products such as watches, handbags, and other goods. This latest blacklisting comes despite China's recent efforts to crack down on the production of counterfeit goods. Since products made in the USA are in demand in China, this article will explain what US retailers and brands need to know to promote their products in the biggest retail market in the world, including how to protect against fraud on Chinese e-commerce platforms. Pinduoduo and Taobao are marketplace platforms for third-party sellers. They set rules, regulations, and guidelines. However, it is up to each merchant to run the day-to-day operations of their business. While requirements for sellers have become stricter, it is difficult to monitor all of them due to their sheer number. There are millions of merchants on each platform, each selling goods from all kinds of different distributors, wholesalers, and other channels. To monitor such a complex value chain for fake goods is a near impossible feat, even for China's most well-capitalized platforms. Pinduoduo had removed over 10 million items from its platform due to counterfeiting concerns. It also blocked over 40 million links to suspected fake goods and has a 150 million RMB or $21.68 million fund to reimburse customers who purchase fake goods. In the end, none of these efforts were enough to placate the U.S. Trade Representative's office. China makes big bucks from counterfeit goods. Additionally, a large percentage of China's economy depends on revenues generated from fake goods. A report from 2006 estimated that as much as 8% of its GDP was derived from the sale of counterfeit products. In 2016, the trade of counterfeit and pirated goods amounted to an astonishing $461 billion, which accounts for 2.5% of global trade. Top counterfeit products included footwear, clothing, leather goods, and watches. When a local government in northeast China announced a crackdown on counterfeit goods in 2012, 90% of store owners shuttered their stores, turning the city into a ghost town. The government officials subsequently backed off and pleaded with the store owners to come back and reopen their businesses. Some counterfeit experts say that it's difficult for the platforms to crack down on them for these economic reasons, and that even Alibaba Group founder Jack Ma sympathizes with these small business owners for trying to make a living in smaller, backwater Chinese towns. What China is doing to help root out fake goods. The Chinese government is taking the issue of counterfeit goods seriously, enacting new legislation this year. China's new e-commerce law, effective at the beginning of 2019, cracks down on the sales of fake products by holding internet platforms and sellers more accountable for their actions or lack thereof. Its provisions include e-commerce platforms, individual and merchant sellers, as well as social media platforms such as WeChat and Douyin are held legally responsible if fake goods are sold and no measures were taken to prevent transactions. Before, only individuals were only held responsible if they were caught selling counterfeit items. All individual sellers also must register their businesses, obtain a business license, and file and pay taxes. This includes many daigou sellers who smuggle products into China and resell them at a markup. Platform operators also will have to keep at least 3 years of product and service information records for each merchant. Lastly, the new law also outlines a mechanism structure for notifying parties about fake listings and the process of removing the sales. Platform operators face fines of up to 2 million yuan, or nearly $300,000 for serious cases of intellectual property infringement where they fail to promptly remove listings. While it's difficult to track and punish every seller that violates these regulations, the platforms will likely punish a few sellers severely and use them as examples to scare the rest into compliance.